Well, I know when I was looking for educational options for my daughter, she was about 2. I was looking at full-time homeschooling versus public schools, and I was really interested in being having a hands-on approach to her education. But also knowing as she grew and seeing her personality, I was looking for an option to be able to have hands-on experience, but also for her to experience the school community. And when CLA came up, they provided us with the opportunity to have both. She was able to go to school 3 days a week, have that community, learn to, work with others and learn from other people, but also I got to have her home with me 2 days and be able to have that hands-on experience of educating my daughter. So without all the planning, which is great.
Yeah, and I basically shared that vision of that homeschool component. And we went to a banquet, and I believe it was Mr. Bowler speaking. And when he talked about that homeschool component, and he talked about how the parents have that unique relationship, that special relationship with their children, and kind of using that as an avenue to provide teaching in component with what the teachers were doing. So that's really kind of resonated with me when he spoke to that matter. Yeah, so I'll start with my son. He was born during COVID. He didn't have a lot of the opportunities to socialize with other children because of that. So we actually started him a little sooner than we did our daughter. And just really to see his personality kind of grow over the last year, to see his vocabulary grow, his confidence. Seen a lot of growth over the last, I guess it hasn't even been a full year now that I think about it. Really, this was his first year starting, and just to see that much growth in such a short amount of time has been really encouraging.
Right, and I think with our daughter, she's been here since BPK. So with her, I think it really translates for her in the real world. So when they come to school, they're in that environment of, Christian education and learning that they're with like-minded people, and that when they go out into the world, it's a mission field. And I think with her, seeing her grow up in this CLA community, it translates to her functioning well with other children as far as being a leader, a godly leader, and leading by example and being kind to others. And really, she's an encourager. And I think a lot of that comes from being in an environment like this on a daily basis, to teach them about, what it means to be really a mission in every other aspect of your life. And so that is what's really been cool to me about seeing her grow into this young lady who is learning to put God first and to share that with others. I think for me, it's hard to nail down one thing that's my favorite, but I think obviously the homeschooling component was one of my favorite parts of this, and the opportunity that we can do that. But I think my number one is the fact that it's so God-centered. Obviously, when we went to the banquet, and Peter Bulwer talked about we're developing the next generation of godly leaders, and that's important to us because the number one thing that we want to give our children is Jesus. And so if we can partner with a school that's going to weave that in and out of their curriculum, their interactions with other students, it is, they start their day with praise and worship, and so it gets their mind right. And I love that they are able to worship the Lord freely in this environment. And that's, I think, been my favorite thing, is that what we're teaching at home is being taught at school as well. It's kind of an extension of what we're trying to offer them. So
yeah, pretty much the same. The praise and worship, it's neat to see when the kids come home still doing that. I remember my daughter singing a song, and I asked her what the song was, and it was My Lighthouse. So we brought it up on one of our little streaming devices and listened to it, and she's sitting there singing the songs and doing hand motions, and it's pretty awesome to see her do that. And seeing the same thing with my son, he's doing hand motions and my daughter was actually singing the songs that they do from praise and worship, because they do that at the same time. So I think that's probably my favorite. the name community leadership, but really how invested they are in the community, not just with the parents and the teachers, but the parents as a group. They really encourage the parents to get together outside of just, school functions. And I think that's an awesome thing to see, that the parents are gathering as well. So you see that fellowship as well as the children, and then along with the school as well.
And I think too, for me, just the fact that CLA, not only do they focus on academic excellence for our students, but their number one priority, and looking at the documents and the vision that what they have is that it's moral excellence. Like they put that first above, what it is. I mean, academic excellence is important, and being, a good student and learning and, and learning how to think for yourself and all that is extremely important. But just like we said, our number one priority was always, that's important, but God's more important. And so the fact that I do believe that their focus is the character of the child first, not just, what kind of grades did they get, or did they pass the standardized test or whatever. They're focused on developing them as a whole person, not just academically. And I think really makes them unique in the way they approach education. The other things that are unique about CLA is the fact that they do have the option to be able to homeschool our children. We do have, that opportunity to let them have, like I said, the school community, but then also to be able to be homeschooled is awesome, to give us that flexibility that we need. So, yeah.